creator and sustainer of all the worlds. Whether those worlds are known, sustainer of all the worlds. Whether those worlds are known or unknown to mankind.
Hi, welcome to Patrick's Tech Show. I'm Patrick John. Today we have a Sony PlayStation 4 controller. It doesn't charge anymore. Before you do anything else, I recommend checking your USB cord to make sure it's not broken. 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 First, we're going to remove the 4 screws on the back with a small Phillips screwdriver. Next, you're going to want to get something thin and flat and pry open the controller. But be very careful doing this if you use a screwdriver. You're going to want to be very careful taking the back off, because you don't want these triggers to pop off like that one did. We'll cover how you fix that later. Oh. Oh. The next thing I recommend doing is pay attention to how that ribbon cable is placed. Maybe take a snapshot so you can put it back in correctly later. Next, you're gonna want to remove this white piece, and then this piece folds down. Oh, this comes out of there. And then you're going to want to unscrew these 2 screws. Next, you're going to want to take out this circuit board with the USB port. You're going to want to order the model number you see on the circuit board. This number is JDS-011. I don't know about you, but now that we're about halfway through, I think it's time for a victory snack. And today's victory snack is pickled carrots. Spicy ones. And everyone knows carrots are good for your eyes, but they're also good for your skin and your hair. And those were Epic Pickles spicy carrots from York, Pennsylvania. So you're gonna get a little package in the mail like this. So now you're gonna want to do everything you just did in reverse. So let's start with putting this back in the controller. Open that up. Put your ribbon cable in carefully. Close it. And then you're gonna wanna... Oh my gosh. Then you're gonna wanna put the screws back in. Oh! Yeah. And you're going to want to put this little piece in there. And close that. Okay. And you're going to want to put this in here. That tab goes in first. And then over there. And then if you're unlucky and you accidentally took this trigger off, you're going to want to put that spring in there. You're going to want to line the spring up with the slot. And then push the trigger in like that. And look at that. Oh my God. Look at it. Now, it's bouncing. Now it's time to put that ribbon cable back in. Be very careful putting it in. You don't want to mess up the contacts. And then go ahead and put the case over the triggers like that. May have to wiggle it around a little to get it in there. And then you're going to want to put the screws back into the controller. Alright, and now it's for the most time for exciting part. Let's plug in the cord and see what happens. Look at it. It's glowing, which means it's charging. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. And remember, if your controller isn't charging, the problem is probably a bad USB cord or the port on your controller. Now I'm going to test my controller up by playing some Atari Classics Volume 1 Circus Atari. My TV actually has some issues and doesn't have any volume.
Oh, no.